Things are falling apart in the country. The center can no longer hold. Today, June 25th, 2025, there were protests across the country. In fact, from some news outlets, it's reported that out of 47 counties, there were demonstrations in over 21 counties. The epicenter being Mount Kenya counties. In almost all Mount Kenya counties, there were indeed protests, and we also saw some serious looting in those counties. One example being Naivas supermarket in Nyeri, where the locals looted everything. It's now emerging that goons might have infiltrated the peaceful protests. And the same goons went ahead, opened a fight with the police. We saw some police officers being beaten, some being badly injured. It might be possible that those who are goons who are beating up the police officers and also who are looting. The protest might have taken a political direction in that some government's critics might have sponsored the goons. Moses Kuria, through his X account, is giving us a very interesting idea. Moses Kuria, I repeat, the Gen Z part of the protest was largely peaceful. Phase 2 of political opportunism and looters has now started. Kindly Gen Z, please vacate the city center. It's now a war zone. Moses Kuria again, to the international community, I hope you are following the looting of businesses in the protests. Take notice before you issue your next innocuous statements. Who will compensate the innocent traders? What wrong has Imenti House traders committed? Kuria again, dear Gen Z, the political wing of the protests have now taken over. They are fighting peaceful policemen now. Kindly leave the city center to enable the police enter the combat phase with the political wing. Kuria is indirectly saying the goons were sponsored by some politicians. And in this case, he's indirectly implying that these goons were sponsored by the opposition politicians. That's exactly what I'm seeing here. I want us to put all this into perspective for Kenyans to understand where the truth lies. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's proceed. Yes, the aim of today's protests was State House. Protesters wanted to reach State House and they were almost there. They were at State House Girls High School. If they could have pushed it a little bit harder, they could have reached State House. And I'm not ruling out any possibility that maybe in their next protests or demonstrations, they might eventually reach State House. And should that happen, it will signal a likely possibility of William Ruto's government collapsing. If the protesters will manage to reach State House, I think that will be the beginning of the collapse of William Ruto's government. Ruto's government can easily collapse because it does not have that goodwill coming from the people. It seems to appear Kenyans are very much frustrated and against William Ruto's rule. That's one reason why this government can easily collapse. The government can also collapse because the police do not have any say. They can't shoot, they can't arrest. If they make arrests, those individuals are being let off the hook. So the police, their arms are tied. For this government to survive, William Ruto, the president, should come to the defense of the police officers. Let the police officers feel as if William Ruto is protecting them. We've seen several police officers being arrested and some losing jobs because of dealing with some hooliganism during these demonstrations. So William Ruto should come to the defense of the innocent police officers who are trying to maintain law and order. It's also true there are also goons within the police service. Those ones should also be dealt with. But the innocent police officers who are just trying to maintain law and order, the president should come to their defense and should protect them. Failure to do that, then I won't be wrong to say William Ruto's government is a moribund government. We cannot have a lawless country. A country where the police are being beaten, shops being looted, politicians are inciting violence. We can't have such a country. To put this into perspective, Moses Kuria is most definitely channeling his arsenals at Rigathi Gachagua. Last year during Gen Z protests, we were also meant to believe that Rigathi Gachagua did sponsor some of the hooligans who caused some chaos. Kuria here is indirectly maybe just pointing his arsenals at Rigathi Gachagua. Mount Kenya counties today became the epicenter of the protests and looting. And that also goes on to embarrass Rigathi Gachagua because speaking sometimes back, he used to boast on how the mountain does not know how to protest, kuchoma barabara, and such like stuffs. But today, for the very first time, I was surprised to see a Corino on the streets protesting. Times have changed, ladies and gentlemen. One thing Kenyans should know, the day the mountain will understand the attributes of electing good leaders, that's the day, as a country, we might start experiencing some real change in our politics. But before the mountain realizes that, Kenyans will just be going rounds in circles. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.